I can confirm Gonzo's got his cup of tea. I've got my cup of tea. And just before we went live, Gonzo was applying his lipstick as well.
Balm. Lip balm.
Lipstick.
Weekends, lipstick. Weekdays, lip balm.
I saw the lippy. I saw you pouting.
Always pout. You can't apply the balm. In fact, it's just Vaseline. Dual purpose Vaseline, obviously. Never double dip.
I was clicking go live, and all you were doing was pouting. I thought you were blowing me kisses for good luck or something. It turns out you were, and you were just
quite right, sir. Quite right.
Just getting your lips ready for the viewers.
Oh, well, your lips have got to be ready for the cup of tea, for the podcast, for to sip from the mug of plenty. There it is.
Do you know who else has had to get their lips ready recently?
I do. I do.
Our latest board member.
Yeah. Not taking a break from that, to be fair. There's none of that because there is official duties to take care of. Like,
I'm not sure what she does, really.
Signing players, obviously. I'm
not sure she does that.
No.
She turns up at games.
Obviously organising the fans in and out of the stadium. You can't have too many board members, Gino. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot to be done.
Anyway, right, we've got some topics tonight. Gonzo, on Monday, 11 years since Sullivan and Gold took over West Ham United. In a few sentences, if you like, how do you think they've got on?
Well, look, they made their own manifesto. That it's as simple as that. And when you always promise low and over deliver, I think is the thing. Their manifesto was big, it was bountiful, it was plentiful. They promised to do much, and they've done almost none of it. So I mean, not my words, not my pledge. Their own pledges, their own 10-point plan. We've been through the 10-point plan before, Geo, and I think we do it. We've done it quite a lot. I suppose we did it over 5 years, and because I do believe originally it was the 10-point plan was a 5-year plan. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I certainly remember we went after their 10 years in charge, which was funny enough was a year ago. We went through the 10-point plan, and almost none of it had been achieved. I think what's a few sentences. Sorry, you want to go into more detail? Those are my sentences.
Yeah, I think they've had genuine. I think they've had genuine sort of beliefs that they could do it, and I think they're. Sort of the 10-point plan, I think they did believe they could deliver, and I think they tried to. They're just not very good at it. I think that's the problem. I do believe they love the club. I think David Sullivan perhaps might not love West Ham United per se, but I think he loves football. I think he loves running a football club. I think Gold loves... Too much. Yeah, I think Gold loves West Ham United. That's not really what I've got an issue with. It's just the fact that I just don't think they're particularly very good at it. That's all there is. I don't know them as people, so I'm not going to say that they're bad people. I don't know. But as chairman, I think they are bad chairmen. I don't think they're very good, and what they've done recently doesn't help. And I'm not speaking about the Robert Snodgrass deal. I'm speaking about appointing those 4 people to the board. Actually, if you could sum up their tenure in about a very recent article, that's the one I would point to and say, well, that sums them up. They don't care what the fans think of them. They don't care about the fans per se, as long as they benefit, and they're almost willing to do anything they can in order to benefit themselves, and that's what they've done. That's what they've done with putting those people on the board. It's so that their family members could turn up to home games. It's privileges, isn't it? It's rich man privileges. That's what it is, and I think that's what we've seen over the years at West Ham United, and it's disappointing. I think this year sort of not bought them a little bit of breathing space, but the COVID situation has. The fact that we're doing quite well at the minute, I think people's enthusiasm for banging on the desk is somewhat waned a little bit, because it is results based. Football is a fickle business. I'm not saying people no longer want them out, it's just they don't have perhaps the same energy as they once done when things aren't going too well and stuff. So I think not quite good enough is what I would score them on the old report card, if you like, Gonzo.
No, look, and there's obviously mitigating circumstances, particularly with COVID. I mean, there really is, and in many respects I think we've handled COVID situation better than a lot of clubs. All right, and I have given Gold and Sullivan credit where it was due, particularly for not furloughing the staff. And I thought, Tottenham in particular were lurching from one PR disaster to another. But I think it's really important that you also look at what's happened on the pitch. And I know I am accused of being a bit of a David Moyes fanboy and whatnot, but I think a lot of that success has got to be attributed to the manager. I think it's the manager that built the coaching team around him. Certainly the manager is talking about improving recruitment, about doing all of these things, and it's sort of almost happened in spite of them. So, but I do think they've handled COVID well, but we can't forget that there has been a 10-year barometer before that, a yardstick by which to measure them, and it hasn't been particularly good in terms of energy and fans banging on the doors, so to speak, and stuff like that. I mean, it's tough for anybody to do that at the moment. Let's be fair, just because of the situation, and rightly so. People have got more important things to think about and to deal with, and we're not even allowed to go to the games and that. But do I think it's benefited them? Yes, but that's because of David Moyes. I also think it's afforded them an opportunity to build some bridges. Without the fans there, without the protests, and they can do that. Maybe they can start to do that. But then when they do something like appointing family members to the board, when you or I and everybody watching can't go to the games, we're not allowed to go to the games. And I made the comparison myself. It's a little bit like, are they allowed to do it legally? Yes. Should they do it? No, because it's not in the spirit of things. Would it be legal if maybe I had a mate who was a steward at West Ham and I gave him a call or something like that? Maybe I get a dodgy media pass or maybe just something like that. Do I need to be there? No. But we get signed off and they phone up and they say, oh, mate, I've got you that little job. Yeah, officially you're on the thing. So I didn't get to go to the game. But would I legally be allowed to go? Yes. But would it be in the spirit of it? No. It just wouldn't. It's just a little bit wrong. And I think they had not maybe built up a bit of credit, maybe built up a little bit of almost breathing space for themselves, a little bit of leeway, and then they go and do that, and that's just another sort of PR disaster, really.
Yeah, I think morally bankrupt is what I would say about them sometimes. I think they just don't have the finger on the pulse too often. Like the season ticket refunds when that came around, when everybody was desperate for cash. There was a lot of uncertainty in the world and that, and we took ages. We were dragging our feet. I think we were like the 15th club to announce how fans were going to get their money back. Then they announced the season ticket renewals. They were almost trying to blackmail you into giving them 100% of your money. Basically, you had to pay up front and you get it back in dribs and drabs. And everybody kicked off and they changed it within 24 hours. They said, actually, here's a 30% offer. Then you can only pay 30%, and it's just things like that. I get a bit frustrated by. I think if only you'd done that 30% a day earlier, there'd have been no blowback whatsoever. If anything, the people would have turned around and applauded the club and said, okay, they've got lots of options there that suits everyone. They've taken everything into consideration, but just felt it was a little bit murky. It was a little bit grab, take kind of thing. And it was like, hang on a minute, we don't all have the resources that you do. Yes, your business is taking an impact, but 10% difference to a millionaire is a lot different to a 10% difference to someone who hand to mouth every single month. There's a big difference as to what that 10% equates to. So sure, that means he's lost a bit more money than everyone else, but he's still eating every month comfortably. Yes, it's true though, isn't it? So what's David Sullivan got to do to save a few quid? Well, he just got to not go on 10 holidays that year, have 8 instead. So it's just a bit frustrating. Everything's a bit short term as well. I think that's what frustrates me the most, because they came out that 10-point plan, and I think a 5-year thing was probably the right. I think you're right with saying their intention was to do it in 5 years. And there was some that they get yeses for because they were quite easy, like, we will move to London Stadium. Well, yeah, we've done it. Not very well, but we've technically done that. So you get the tick for that. We will do, like, community work. Well, yeah, you've done that. But again, it's almost like the club don't run that. The foundation's like a separate entity altogether, which is well run. And actually, the one thing that you do well, you've got no involvement in. Other people look after that, and that's done well. But everything's so short term. It just feels like we're always just trying to get through to May, and then in August we'll just try and get through to May again and stuff. And there's no real sort of longevity there, and that's why like I said, I'm never been Moyes' biggest fan, but I'm happy to say that the success on the pitch this season is 100% down to the manager and the manager only. So they've got a little bit of breathing space. I agree with you there. But I think they've also got a massive opportunity right now to put things in place so when fans do go back, actually, we've got a scouting system. We've got possibly someone, a director of football or someone else in place that's helping run stuff. I've always wished that if they don't want to sell West Ham United, that's okay, but just get someone in that just runs West Ham United, to get football people in, but not just football people, business people as well. And it's the short-term thing that frustrates me a little bit, really, because you want to see a little bit of a plan. You look at the other clubs, Leicester City opening a £100 million training ground, you're like, wow, look at that, they've got a plan there. We literally do articles on our website to almost blow our own trumpet about upgrading the porter cabin with a couple of £1 million.
Well, you heard what Hugo said, didn't you?
Yes. Norwich City's is better than theirs, and I think there's a League One club. It's got better facilities than ours as well, and I can't remember what League One club it is as well. But it's come out as pictures doing the rounds and stuff. I thought it's all a bit temporary, and it's 11 years now. Do you know if this was 2 years in, I'd understand if things were a little bit temporary. They're still getting to grips. It's 11 years on. And we're not really, yes, we're now an established Premier League club, so on and so forth, but we're not really moved forward in terms of infrastructure or what the 2 seasons holds for us or anything like that. And this is the first season, actually, apart from the last season at Upton Park, actually feels like we are a stable Premier League club. 11 years have been here, and this is only year 2. I feel like we're all right. We're a Premier League club now.
No, I totally agree. And again, it's really important that you study the facts. I mean, somebody wrote in a video today on the comments today, and they said, and they seemed unhappy. I'll say that much. And they said, if we qualify for Europe this season, then actually they've achieved their goal of doing what they said they'd do within 5 years of being at the Olympic Stadium. And he said, but sort of angrily, but I bet nobody's going to mention that. And again, it's the difference between looking at something technically and looking at something in detail. And I mentioned, I probably mentioned that because they said nobody mentioned that, so I'm mentioning it. It strips out the detail and the context of it. This has not been some massive cohesive plan where they've got to the end of the 5 years and suddenly the planning and the strategy has worked. If it does work, if we do qualify for Europe, there'll be a lot of factors involved in it. And certainly sacking a manager, getting someone else in it, failing, then reappointing the manager you've sacked for a second time, then a pandemic hitting the world of football, no fans being in there, and then somehow you manage to work your way, stumble your way to European football. That it's not true. It's not a true reflection to say that that's part of their plan. It will be in spite of what they've done rather than because of them. And the whole appointment of David Moyes for a second time is a silent admission that you got it wrong the first time, or got Pellegrini wrong, or choose whatever one you want. You got it wrong for sacking Moyes, you were wrong to appoint Pellegrini, whatever the case may be. But there's still big issues at the club, and the training ground is a massive one. You said at the start that you felt Sullivan loves football. I too much. I interrupted you and I said too much. That's why he is reluctant to take a step back. But you must be able to take a step back and then allocate those positions to people that know more. And we need a football expert on the board, an executive position on the board as well, not just somebody who's going to sit down. I'm not talking about Trevor Brooking. I'm talking about somebody. Now, I mention Arsene Wenger because I think it's a good example. He's got lots of contacts throughout football, in UEFA, knows his coaching, knows his football, knows how to run a football club. I'm not suggesting you get him, but it's a good starting point when you're going to select.
It's a good example. Ajax have Mark Overmars as director of football. Edwin van der Sar is something to do like the technical director or something.
I think Bergkamp's in there as well, right? Yeah, I mean, it makes absolute sense. So we need a bit of that. So Sullivan needs to step back. I felt for a long time Brady needs to go. Her remit was for the transition to the Olympic Stadium. Regardless of what you think of it, it's been done. She's there now. And, we're in the Olympic Stadium now. She sort of does lurch, again, from one PR disaster to another. Flat refusal to give up her son Colin, which can often be embarrassing for the club as well. And I think it'd be a massive statement actually for the club to take her, say thank you, Karen, you've achieved what we asked you to do, which was to take us from, I'm talking about them, to the owners, to say thank you, you've helped us at Birmingham, you've taken us from Upton Park to the Olympic Stadium. We're going to remove you from your executive position now. Thank you. Here's your golden handshake or whatever. And we are now going to appoint a football person and leave the day-to-day running management of the club with somebody that's just under her and that sort of thing. Deal with the admin. We don't have a huge what can I say? We don't have a huge financial liability in terms of staffing costs. We don't employ a load of staff. We don't own our own stadium, but obviously we do have media people, marketing people. What's the word I'm looking at? The corporate. We have people have got to run that type of thing. They've all got jobs to do. They've all got important jobs to do, and a lot of them do it very, very well, Geo, under a lot of tough circumstances. That club is not an easy place to work. I spoke to a few people, and the hours are long and it's hard. The final thing that I do think is sort of important and could really be really quite significant. This is sort of nobody's fault, and I can't figure out whether it's worked out well or whether it hasn't. The fact that we don't own our own stadium has meant we don't have to borrow these huge amounts of money that Tottenham have. Tottenham are in a right mess because they've done what they've done, right? We don't have to because we don't own our own stadium. So that bit has served us well in COVID. All this is accidental. No one predicted this. We didn't move to a rented stadium because we knew a pandemic was coming. That's okay. Let's get that right. However, I do wonder if when the dust settles, that actually we look at it, and I still think Tottenham will be in a worse position than us, for all the reasons that you've said in the past, the fans attending football, there just won't be as many. Some people will go back. And I just wonder if there comes a point where actually when the dust settles, a lot of people have got used to watching football at home. A lot of people have lost their jobs. And for lots and lots of different reasons, we actually get about 35,000 fans turning up for West Ham games. And when that happens, you look at that, I've got a big feeling we might look back and think, why didn't we stay at Upton Park? Because we're only getting 35. We get the same attendance in the Olympic Stadium as we were getting at Upton Park, is my point.
Yeah, I completely agree. The lack of organic growth, I think, is when you're talking about that guy saying about how we might qualify for European football, we'll give credit. Of course we will. We will give credit where credit is due. But it's down to like a one-off season rather than an organic growth of finishing 15th, then finishing 12th, then finishing 8th, and then finishing 6th. You think, well, progress every year, we can see that, but it's sort of avoid relegation, 10th, avoid relegation, European football, and that's inconsistency. That's almost like a dangerous thing to almost like build your foundations on. That when you're going like that, you want to see consistencies. It's a bit like you were spending money. 2 months you earned £2,000, the next month you earned 10 grand. Then you're back down at 2,000, then you're back up at 8,000. You're not going to start spending as if you're earning 8 grand every month, are you? No, it's a one-off. It's a blip. You want to see 6,000 every single month, and then you might start to think, oh, I'll get a bit more extravagant now. You want to see a bit more stability. Hopefully, Moyes can deliver that. But at the minute, it's just a one-off season kind of thing. Just a massive thank you to Jem Malone for putting in £2 into the biscuit fund. Jem Malone says, keep up the good content. Come on your house. #fulltime fund.
Hey, thank you.
Jam's trying to get us full-time Gonzo. £2 into there. That's an extra 10 minutes each, I think. Next month.
Yeah, bring it on. We'll talk for longer.
Anyway, we'll stop talking about Gold, Sullivan and Brady now.
I just want to say that.
Yes.
I do think there's hope, all right? There is hope for West Ham, because I do think David Moyes has really brought that. It's someone we can get behind. Look at what he did to Everton. Look at what he did for Everton. And if he can drag the owners kicking and screaming and make them upgrade, this is what our hopes almost depend on him. Let him insist the training grounds upgraded. Let him insist on a director of football. Let him say, I need more scouts, and let him, I do think there's hope there that we will build an infrastructure. I really do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there is almost not necessarily a way back with them. I think there's a lot of bridges burning. There's no way back with them for a large part of the fans, but I also think there's a large part of the fans that actually, not necessarily way back, but you can certainly put the fires out a little bit, and that is by investing wisely, recruiting wisely, and see the club progressing to where we wanted to progress to, kind of thing. You all of a sudden turned into Leicester City in the next 2 seasons. Suddenly the calls for GSB out would lessen. There will still be people there, though. There will still be people. There's people that will never ever like them, no matter what they do. We could win the title, and there'll still be people that says, nope, not for me. You've damaged the club. You've damaged the club that I love. I'm not going back. But I do also think there's some people that's perhaps on the fence. There can be one back over kind of thing. And it's down to them, really. But continue to going the way they are, I think they're just going to lose more and more support eventually. Anyway, striker talk. Robert Snodgrass. What do you want to talk about next? Robert Snodgrass. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A bit hoo-ha about nothing really.
Yeah, but what's Allardyce do? He's so gobby, Geo. He cannot help himself. You just think, just shut up, mate. Just shut up. Just shut it. I mean, this is a guy that has dug himself so many holes. Did you not learn? I mean, look, he should have learned before. He was part of a Panorama investigation. Panorama investigated him. Whatever. A local police force at the time, because he had his son as an agent, and there was stuff going on, and his agent, Mark Curtis, they were all investigated. And you think at that point, okay, keep your head down. It's not like he's earning crap money. Just keep your head down. Be a football manager. Be a millionaire. Enjoy your life, right? No, keep your head down. He still couldn't. Look at him. The England job gets the England. He just mucks it up, right? And he can't help himself. I've mentioned so many times. I'm not going to mention it again. What he said in his first press conference. Excuse me. It's so wound up. I dribbled. His first press conference at West Ham, he was completely disrespectful to West Ham, which is one of the reasons I don't like him. But then he knows what he's doing. He marches back. He bowls into his press conference. I'm responsible for why West Ham are where they are. Oh, shut up. And then he goes. And then why say? Oh, Snodgrass can place a gentleman's agreement. Shut up. Shut up. Have you learnt nothing? You keep on putting your foot in it. Shut your gob. And but he can't. Just don't say anything. And now the club are sort of scrambling around. And I guess our club have sort of hinted today that there was no agreement in place. There's no paperwork. And I'm sure before they made that they've gone and checked. No, this wasn't something. I do believe something was said and there was a handshake. But the whole point of a bloody gentleman's agreement is it's a handshake and it's not official. It's a wink and a nudge, and as you keep your word, I keep my word, you keep your word. There you go. We shake on it. And the very fact that Sam Allardyce can't keep a gentleman's agreement, well, it means he's not a gentleman at the very least. I can't stand the bloke, quite frankly. I don't think anything in particular will happen. Maybe a little 10 grand fine or something like that. Look, it's not nice. We won yesterday, and I saw people again in the chat panicking, oh, we're going to get a points deduction or something. You shouldn't have to be put through that and be thinking that and worrying about that when we just won and gone into 7th. It's ridiculous.
What a twat he is. Honestly, he is a twat. The funny thing is, West Brom are the ones going to be more trouble than West Ham here. We're not the ones. We're the ones that have said nothing. We're going to deny everything illegally. He could have played Robert Snodgrass last night. West Ham will happily turn around and say, well, we were expecting Robert Snodgrass to play. David Moyes was ready for Robert Snodgrass in midfield. Don't know what he's on about. Speaking a load of nonsense. He's covering something up. Maybe he's falling out. Maybe he's falling out with Robert Snodgrass, and that's
we had a little video made up for the big screen.
Yeah, we know what Allardyce is like. He falls out with the players all the time. He's probably already fallen out with Robert Snodgrass. But the worst thing is, he said it before the game. He's not playing for gentlemen. So during the game, it all come out that the FA were looking into it. Then after the game, they'll say, well, Sam, they're now investigating. And he says, well, I've got no comment. Any comment they can ask me in private and I'll tell them, kind of thing. You're saying, well, it's too late now. Horse bolted, it's a bit late. You've already claimed, you've told the world what's happened. Oh, what a twat he is, honestly. But I don't think anything will happen to West Ham. I've been very calm about it the whole time. I think we might get a small fine. That'll be it. I think West Brom will get a small fine when we'll all move on.
I would have done it, by the way. I would have done it. I've just been critical of I'll criticise the owners where they need to or whatever. I'd have done that. I'd have turned around and said, you ain't having him. All right, look, if you want to buy him, you can buy him. But, tell you what, don't play him against us. I don't want him to play against us. I would have said something like that. Yeah. It's going to make it really awkward, right? And I would have said that. So I don't blame him for doing that. I blame him for being a big gobshite, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree. Anyway, we'll move on. I think we'll get a small fine, but nothing too serious and stuff. There's worse things that's happened in football, and I think we've done the right thing. West Ham United, really, I think we've done the right thing. I think West Brom done the right thing as well, because we said we'll sell you him on the 21st of January or whatever. You can have him after we've played each other. And they said, yeah, but we need him for the Wolves game. I said, well, you can have him, but you're not playing him against us. I think West Brom done the right thing by saying, okay, we'll take him so we can have him for the Wolves game, but we won't play him against you. I think both teams have done the right thing. I don't necessarily see what's wrong with the gentleman's agreement anyway, to be honest with you.
Well, I think the thing is that by him playing it, it's seen that we're manipulating the league, basically. So I think the other teams perhaps in the relegation zone, their complaint may well be, oh well, hold on, if West Brom would have had Snodgrass, they would have beat whatever, they might have beaten West Ham. But it's actually the result went the other way. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, so if they'd have beaten West Ham, then they would have gone out the relegation zone. So actually, we've done them a favour because they've kept West Brom down there.
Remember when Peterborough, right? Remember when Darren Ferguson went to Peterborough and he loaned like 3 players from Man United? Fergie was helping his son now. That's worse. That's worse. That is like no other team in League One would have been able to loan those players. They only got them because of the manager, because of his manager's son and stuff. So you can listen, gentlemen's agreement or not. I know it's against the rules, but you look along transfers all over the world, all over leagues. There's always dodgy stuff going on, helping people out and whatever stuff like that. There's always stuff. There's tapping up left, right and centre going on. Sebastian Haller literally told the world he's speaking to Ajax for months, but everybody's like, yeah, but who cares, let's move along. So it's a corrupt game, and that's like the least corrupt thing I've seen regarding transfers. Yeah, there's a big hoo-ha made out of it. Leave it out. You've got football agents get involved in transfer deals. We're in a league that allows football clubs to spend tens of millions every window on football agents to manipulate transfers, to use their contacts to force clubs into selling players. Yeah, we've got an issue with 2 clubs doing a little handshake between them about sorting out a transfer. There was no money.
Well said. Yeah,
it's just rubbish. This corruption, that league is corrupt to high heaven, and this is the least corrupt thing I've seen all week. I've seen there was more corruption in the game with VAR. Sort that out before you start pissing around with what the clubs have got going on between them. Massive thank you, Chris Topper. He's put in £5 in the biscuit fund and said, get yourself some I can't remember what it said. He put £5 in. It's a drink of some sort, I think.
Says. What biscuits
I don't know, it was scrolling, we were ranting.
He
put £5 in and said to buy some stuff. I think it was some sort of biscuits, maybe.
I think you meant malted milk ones with the chocolate on top, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but we'll get some of them in. Anyway, rant over. Striker talk. We're after a lot. David Moyes confirmed got some bids in, but he's also confirmed he doesn't want any striker. He only wants a specific one. He only wants a striker he wants. So admirable, but at the same time, we're a little bit desperate, Gonzo.
Yeah, we are a bit desperate. I don't believe what David Moyes says. I just don't believe what he says anymore. Unless he's you've got to cut through it. I think that man works so hard to try and it's almost like countermeasures. All right, it's almost like, you know what I mean. He's the jet fighter firing off the countermeasures because all the missiles are being fired at him because of all the leaks everywhere. So I think he is literally trying to misdirect everybody all the time. And I feel a bit sorry for him on that. So I don't believe what he says about almost anything, not because he's dishonest, but because of that, for that reason. I think he has got his eye on 2 or 3 players. I do think it looks like you start to notice a pattern with things. So I think we spent, myself included, spent the last 2 weeks talking about many of these players, and they all had a similar feel about them. Daka and Dia and all of these, they sort of they surfaced and this, that, and the other. But nobody ever actually said there's been a proper bid. So for there to be a bid, for the Athletic to say there was a bid, but David Moyes then to confirm that there's been a bid for this particular player, which is Yosif En-Nesyri, I think, as you say it like that. And then for the news to come out today that we're going for a second bid. Oh, well, this looks familiar. Doesn't mean we'll get him because we had all this with Tarkowski. Regardless of whether you like Tarkowski or you didn't, regardless of whether you think we did well at trying to bid for him, we undoubtedly were bidding for him. And that's information that's quite important at the moment, because what you at least know is for this player we're bidding for. All those other rumours, you don't know. And what I really like about this one, Geo, is we heard nothing. He wasn't one of the 5 or 6 names that everyone, including myself, has been talking about for the past 2 weeks. This has come left of field, totally left of field. And I looked at him, and I know you might not have looked at him, but when I looked at him, I thought, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see, as soon as I looked at him, it made more sense to me. I thought, oh yeah, okay, I can see this guy playing for David Moyes. Well, actually, if I had to design a player of FIFA or something for David Moyes, I might design this guy. So I thought, yeah, but all the reasons, I believe it. Can we get the deal over the line? I don't know. The fact that we are looking to bids, I think we might have upped the bid. So if he jumps through all the hoops and you know, we qualify for the Universal Cup or whatever, they get 35 million. The fact that after we've just been burnt with Haller, that we're prepared to go up to 35 million, all clauses achieved, of course, I do think is quite significant and quite impressive, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think. Do you believe it? Do you believe that we are bidding up to that?
Yes. Listen, the figure I don't know. I definitely believe we've bid for this player.
I think it's a bit rich for us, really, considering Sevilla want 40 million euros, and the player himself has basically said that he's not really bothered about moving. He's happy at Sevilla. He's not in any hurry to leave. What concerns me a little bit is, like, David Moyes has basically almost suggested that we need a backup striker for Michail Antonio. And then when you go after someone like that, he's not going to come to play backup to Michail Antonio. He's coming only with assurances that he is starting, and therefore you've got a bit of an issue here. Now, I got a bit offended in the build-up show, or whatever when it was about the build. Remember, someone said a backup striker. I was like, I hate this tag. I don't want to buy someone. Yes. I don't want to buy someone that we are thinking he'll do for the bench. I hate that. I want someone that we're going to buy that's going to come in and put Antonio on the bench. That's got to be the aim. Now, is that likely to happen? Well, no, not with the form he's in. But that has to be what you go for. There's no use getting someone and we're like, well, let's buy him and hopefully he can get a couple of goals if he plays 10 games and he'll be okay for backup when Antonio needs a rest. It's almost like a loser's mentality. That's like avoiding relegation mentality. I want like one that's like, no, we're going to get someone in that's going to score more goals than Michail Antonio. I want someone in that's going to push him onto the bench. I want someone that when Antonio's out, he comes in, we don't see a difference. Nothing changes. But also, if Antonio starts, we don't see a difference. I want players that go into that first 11, and then the guy in the first 11 drops out. But like Souček, we signed Souček, Mark Noble dropped to the bench. Done. That's what we want to see. So I don't want to see... I don't know if he is... I don't know if he's not good enough, but for example, Boulaye Dia, if he is sort of okay, I don't want to see okay. I don't want to see sign a guy for the bench. I want to sign a guy for the first team, and that's my concern. That David Moyes has put out sound bites that Michail Antonio is his #1 striker, understandably, but then you've just got to told the striker you're going after that. Like, that's our main striker. That's my only concern. I'm not sure we are bidding that much, to be honest with you, Gonzo. I've got a little bit of a concern about it. It feels a bit like we've been here before with Sullivan, not Moyes, with Sullivan, where we know a player's too expensive, but we still pursue him for less than the asking price. Like Tarkowski to an extent, 40 million. Well, 30? No, he's 40 million. 31? No, he's 40 million. 32? No, it's 40 million, and it feels like we're doing that again. 40 million, oh well, we'll bid 25, so it looks like we're ambitious, and the manager thinks we're going after his target, the fans are happy, we're bidding 25 million, but really, they know fine well Sevilla's going to go, get out of here with that. He's 40 million euro, well, 28 million euro, no, he's 40 million euro, that's the price.
Well, we can't, I would, and I do agree with all of that, we can't. After Haller, we just can't get into that. And actually, we've got to. It's ruthless and it's nasty, but you know the Premier League's got a really good product. It's got a relatively strong TV deal. Spain doesn't. It's so disproportionately given the finances to Barcelona and to Real Madrid. I think they might have won the Europa Cup last season, Sevilla possibly. So there is some revenue from that, but realistically, they are not a wealthy club. And actually, I do think we've got to play hardball for two reasons. Number one, I don't think he's worth that. Okay, and number two, I think after Sebastian Haller, we need to be really careful. And Anderson, if we get whoever we're going to get is highly likely to be our third record ever signing. Right, if that's the case, we've got to get this right. You know, we've got to get this right. So if it's a case of... But what we need to do is we need to play it a little bit better. We need to say to Sevilla, look, here's the money. We won't be coming back with another bid. And if that's the case, we draw the line there and then we go on to a different target. I think the thing with this Dia is... It's not just us who are in for Dia. There's a few clubs. They ain't big clubs, by the way. His club have said they will take 15 million euros. Almost every club is trying to get it down for less than that. And I think that probably tells you an awful lot about him. If he was really good, people are looking, 15 million euros, bargain. Bang, there you go. Here's your money, cash in your hand. I do think they're very, very different targets. I do think if you're getting somebody like that, I think it's a different thing again. I think if you do sign him, you're signing him for 9 million quid, and I think you're putting him on 30 grand a week. So I think the financial liability of someone like that is a lot less than this guy at Sevilla, who is going to be very expensive in more ways than one. Has to work out. We cannot afford another another £30 million flop, basically.
No, because I think because if he does flop, we've just seen with Sebastian Aller, we got 20 million for him, but also with Dia, clubs are bulking over 15 million. Now, it might be his ability, it probably is, but it's also a financial thing. People might think, oh, 15 million is quite a lot now. It's almost like the punt, that used to be punt money in the Premier League, 15 million for a striker was gamble. Oh, well, we'll take a risk on him. A Jetty was 10 million, you know, that's punt money. We dismiss that now. Don't we go 10 million, that was worth a try, you know. It also just suggests that if you go get the Sevilla striker and you don't work out, good luck getting your money back, because clubs just don't have money anymore. You're lucky to find someone that's got 20 million to spare on a striker. So the people that would take him off your hands, there's not that many around.
Does he play?
Agree.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to forget. Does he play a Jetty? Does Jetty play for Celtic?
Yeah.
Oh, he does feature. He gets on the pitch, does he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how often, to be honest with you. Celtic is a bit of a shambles at the minute anyway. Yeah. Like they're 20 odd points behind Rangers already, but you know, we're linked with our other striker Edward. I think he'd be fantastic for us. I'd love to see him come down, take advantage of the situation that Celtic have got, because they've got a lot of bad PR at the minute, because they went out to Dubai and Neil Lennon sticking to his gun saying, oh no, we did everything alright, but there's been players that were in Dubai have now got COVID, so we're just like, well, how'd that work out?
We only went to the brothel once.
But yeah, so we'll wait and see. I just think this Sevilla striker thing, I think it's a bit smoke and mirrors, or we are bidding, but we are not really bidding with intent, if you want. I still think we need to sign a striker. What is there, 10 days left of the window? Something like that. It's 1st of February, so it's a week on Monday, the window shuts. We've got to get at least, I think we only need one. I'd be okay with just one, as long as it's good, like really good. Who that is, I'm not sure. We're being linked with a hell of a lot of strikers anyway. I can't keep up, Gonzo. I try and write them down for the transfer rumours show, and there's about 30 strikers now. They're changing every day.
You heard what Allardyce said. We've made inquiries for 250 players. Oh, shut up. Crikey, stop talking.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of bids in. Well, Moyes has confirmed we've got a few bids in, and I do believe that there are other players that we're looking at as well. We're linked with a lot of players in the French league at the moment and stuff, and unfortunately it's not really the league that I pay too much attention to. Anyway, shall we turn to the old YouTube questions? Now, what we're going to do, if you posted a question on Twitter, don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. Myself and Gonzo are going to record another video after this one that's going to go up on the forum channel tomorrow. The link is in the description below. We've got about 20 odd questions on YouTube and another 20 on Twitter, and the live chat as well. We just don't have time to get through them all, so I'm going to take some of the YouTube ones now, go to live chat, and then we're going to deal with the Twitter ones in a separate video on the forum channel tomorrow, so check that out tomorrow. Anyway,
Gonzo, dregs of tea.
Yeah, Dregs of Tea, that's it. Dom named that for us, didn't he?
Yeah.
We should show him his name. GP says, one day we'll be just Gonzo on a tin of Pringles in Geo's place. Such is the short life of a YouTuber. No question. I think he was just saying that we're going to, I don't know, it sounds like I'm going to die, to be honest with you.
That does sound very morbid, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be.
I don't know.
Don't know how I want to die.
What kills you off?
Yeah.
Heart attack during Rumpy Pumpy.
It could be. What position do you think it'll be?
Centre forward.
Post
number 9. Floating number 2. Oh, excuse me.
Mitchell says, going through a tough time at the minute, Geo Gonzo. I watch your videos every day, and waking up to Gonzo's update is the best part of my morning. Like a shout out to would really lift my spirits. Thanks for all you do. You lads help me out a lot, and I don't even support West Ham. All the best, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch, keep your chin up, mate. Honestly, keep your chin up, mate. You know what I mean? Tough times, mate. Just try and stay positive. It ain't easy. Things are crap at the moment, mate, but thank you. Kind words, mate. And I'll look forward to speaking to you. Well, we'll both speak to you tomorrow morning, mate.
Keep smiling. Try and have a giggle once a day. And if you have 4 good days a week, it means your week's been better good than it has been bad. You only need 4 good days in a week. That's all you need. Just do your best. Be productive. Write a list. Write a little bucket list. Read a book.
Masturbate a lot.
Something like that, but no rumpy bumpy because you might have a heart attack and die.
You've got to be careful.
Yeah. £5 from Doug Mort. Doug says, full-time fund. Would there be away day vlogs? We're getting to the Europa League group stage. Yes, there would, Doug. Try and stop us. I'll be off somewhere.
What did he say? Sorry, what did Doug say? Would there be
away? If we get into Europa League group stage, will there be away day vlogs? Oh, 100%. I'll be on that plane. Ryanair, here I come.
Ryanair, yeah. If it's not gone bust, yeah.
Or am I just going to boat? A little dinghy or something, you know?
Row.
I'm not that fussy how I get there.
You get in trouble rowing across the channel. Just be careful.
Yeah, but you just told me I'll die with a heart attack, so no, I won't die on the boat. It's fine.
That's right. It's true. Yes. Yeah.
Did you read about the guy? He was from Scotland, and he went to go see his girlfriend in Ireland or something, or it was an isle. It's an Irish island.
Yeah.
And so he had to apply to get there. She's kind of come over and said, no, you're not allowed because of the virus. So he bought a jet ski. And he went on a jet ski.
I thought we sold him to Celtic.
Whee! So he got on a jet ski and he went over. It took him 4.5 hours. He thought it would take 40 minutes. It took him 4.5 hours. So he got there, then he went out partying, then got arrested, and he got sent to jail for about a month.
He's lucky he didn't die. He's lucky he didn't die. Crossing the Irish Sea, he's lucky he had enough fuel in the jet ski, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Crikey. He's a lucky boy.
Well, I hope he got a bit of humpy bumpy.
Imagine if he didn't. Sorry, time of the month.
The worst thing is when he got there, he had to walk an hour to his girlfriend's house. She didn't even come pick him up.
My friend, that is a one-way relationship going on there. Yeah. I reckon they ain't together anymore.
We know who wears the trousers in that one.
We do, definitely know who wears the trousers, who wears the wetsuit.
He might as well just wear a kilt from now on because he ain't getting no trousers in that relationship.
No.
Jazza, do you think that David Gold and Sullivan and Moyes would significantly increase the size of our first team in the summer if we were to get European football?
No, I don't, Jazza, and I think we would need that. And I think that's obviously myself and Geo have promised to do a video for another day on the European football thing, so I'll cover that more then.
I'm looking forward to that. Someone messaged me saying, I'm looking forward to this. I want to get into the Europa League as well. Just good. We didn't say that, but he just said he's looking forward to the video, so am I. Pipeless Cash says, given the defensive way we play, if you had been able to attend each game this season rather than watching on TV, do you think that your overall assessment of our season so far would be a lot more cautious than it is?
That's a good question. Quite possibly, I don't know. I probably would have been drunk. So we would have got to the end and we would have had the victories. And I think I'd have been all right, honestly. I think I'd have been all right. I mean, such has been the bad run of results at the London Stadium anyway. We're not always used to getting victories, so I think I'd have been all right. I do. I don't think I'd have been that much so cautious. I think we've had a lot of caution in the previous few years.
I'll be honest. I'll say yes. I still am wary about. It's not just. I mentioned in the review, and I think people thought I was alluding to David Moyes and David Moyes only. I'm alluding to football in general here. It's not the same league without fans. Spurs will be the most affected. When fans go back, the Spurs fans rating Mourinho, if you like, will go through the floor dramatically. Watching that football, go 1-0 up, and if you go 1-0 up in the 10th minute, it doesn't matter, we're now defending for 80. They will not stand for that. They're paying top whack for this. They'll almost accept it to some extent at home because they're at home, paying no money, no time. They're winning games, they're grinding them out, they'll accept it. But once they're in that stadium, it's going to be completely different. They're not going to enjoy it. And I'm a bit cautious like that as well. You used the West Brom game, the Burnley game. There were spells that we were the second best team on the pitch against sides not very good at football, essentially. And I just think when we were there, it would be a bit like the fans would get a bit restless. The fans would be a bit, oh, here we go again kind of thing. So would my opinion of the season change a bit? Yes, because I think some games the football's been entertaining, but I'll tell you something, Gonzo, there's been some games the football's just not been entertaining. We're getting results. How often have we done a review and said we won without playing well? What that means is we won, but I wasn't really entertained. That's essentially what we're saying here, and we've said it quite often. So I think, will it be different when we're back? I think so. I think it will. Anyway, we'll wait and see. Colin Corrin says, do you think Dawson's shortcomings was exposed last night by the way he backed off?
It was definitely an error. Is there a massive bigger picture that exposed his shortcomings? I felt it wasn't just him that backed off. I thought the whole line were backing off to almost get into a set position that they were meant to have. It was, I found it quite weird. It was almost like I find this quite a lot with West Ham, that the front of the team press and then the defensive line back off, and then they will try and play an offside. I just wonder if they got caught in too much. I don't think it's any bigger picture that we're now going to see Dawson backing off constantly. I do think it was a back line offside team thing going on there. But it was a mistake, and they didn't. I almost felt, because he was quite wide as well, Pereira, I almost felt as if they were thinking, go on then, you can have a shot from there and that'll be fine. But it wasn't fine because he's really good. So, we quite like blocking. I think they thought they were going to back off into the box maybe, and they were going to block the shot or something like that. But he's just very, very good, isn't he? So he didn't have any of that.
I think he was facing the wrong way initially. He had to twist his body and stuff. That didn't help. But yeah, it was an error from Craig Dawson. But he's got enough credit in the bank to sort of let it run kind of thing. If that shot goes wide, we don't mention it again. He gets off with it, but he didn't get off with it. It was a fantastic finish. But I do think there was an error before that. I think he came waltzing through the middle of the pitch. Where's our centre midfield? Rice and Solchek weren't there. But yeah, it was a shortcoming from Craig Dawson, if you like. But it's the first. His first error has led to a big chance, never mind a goal, really. So it's not too bad. Now we're going to turn to the live chat now. We'll leave the other questions for the other video because I like being interactive, don't we, Gonzo? So, Ollie PRJ says, does Antonio deserve an England call-up? 100%, yes.
Yes, he does. His form on the last season, this season, it would suggest that, yeah, but look, Calvert-Lewin got a call-up. Calvert-Lewin's a fantastic player. I don't argue with Calvert-Lewin's call-up at all. I like him. Calvert-Lewin got a call-up based on form. Antonio deserves a call-up based on form. Certainly. I think Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane are ahead of him, yes, but a call-up to squad, for sure. Particularly, you can't put Mason Greenwood in there at the moment because he's barely featuring, is he?
No, I think he should get one. I don't want him to get one. My hamstrings ain't good enough kind of thing, but I do actually like seeing our players get international recognition, because I think it's almost like a pull to West Ham United. You can say to, let's say Hudson-Odoi was leaving Chelsea, for example, you can say to him, look, come here, Rice is in the England team, Antonio's in the England team, Southgate watches West Ham, Southgate likes what West Ham are doing, you come here, you can get into the England team. I think it's a bit of a pull, whereas if we have players like Antonio not getting in, would you dismiss West Ham? Not really, but you'd have to sort of think, well, you don't.
I'd love him to get one cap, Geo, just for sort of him and his family, and do you know what I mean?
He deserves it. He deserved it years ago, and then he got injured.
Just to get that England cap and to get the shirt, and he'd never swap the shirt. To keep the shirt, hang it on the wall. I'd be pleased for him because he's nice.
Yeah. Daniel Watson, do you think ticket prices will go down when we are back, just to get the numbers in?
Eventually. Yeah, not straight away. I think they'll have to suffer the shock first. But yeah, when they won't be able to fill that stadium, they can't. We were getting up towards it. They've just had the expanded attendance of 60,000. We're not going to get anywhere close to it. Yeah, eventually all the prices will drop. They'll have to do what they can. Have to be very creative, actually, to get somebody. And finally, earlier on I said about Karen Brady. Moving on, it's not like there's nobody there should do Karen Brady's job. There needs to be someone there who's going to think really creatively about getting people in the stadium. There is a position there. I just mean that big executive position should go to a football person.
Yeah, I think they'll have to reduce them a bit as well. Not drastically, but I think they're going to have to. I just hope that they're switched on. They can get this really wrong when we go back, which is charge full whack. The last thing you want is our first home game back to be against a Category A team, and they say £60 an adult ticket, please. And if they do, I hope everybody turns around and tells them where to go quite frankly and says, right, just forget it. You've had a year and a half with COVID to sort of get a bit more switched on. You tell us it's affordable football. Well, this maybe was affordable when the world was normal. It's not now, but you're still charging normal prices. So which is it? What world are we living in now? Nick Swire, sub-target for 2021. Well, just before that, actually, Tim King says, shout out to my dad who passed away just over a year ago.
Sorry,
Gary
Tim.
King says, big West Ham fans. So sleep well, Gary. Hope you're sleeping well. And Nick, sub-target for 21. We never really discussed this, do we? We never really set targets like that.
Sorry, what do you mean?
The subscriber, the channel.
So I thought you meant substitute. Sorry, what? How many? What?
In 2021.
How many do we want?
Yeah, we never discussed this. We never really.
No. Look, I'm not. Geo knows this. I'm not a big one for subs. I don't think there's a direct correlation. If subs meant anything, on this channel we'd be getting 15,000 subs in every video. On the forum channel we'd be getting 10. Sorry, we'd be getting 10,000 views on every video. On this one we'd be getting 15,000 views on every video. We don't. I think we got our regular watchers, and then some people like Mitch earlier, and you know, some people come along and they see it and they think, actually I quite like this Hammers chat. I'm going to give this a crack. So I don't think there's any. I've never really particularly celebrated subscriber milestones. It's just sometimes you look at it and you think, wow, that video's got a lot of views. You know, I'm more that sort of thing. Look at a video, I think, wow, can't believe people tuned in to watch that. It's more that than any big.
Yeah, we've got our target, but it's not to do with subscribers. But we'll do that in another video. But let's just say we appreciate when people say full-time fund. That's a big clue there. Andy Walsh says, do you think we will keep Ben Rama at the end of the season?
I think so, Andy. I think so. Yeah. I think a bit more and more convinced that Moyes likes him and he features. I feel that he's more of part of the team than En-Nesyri is in terms of Moyes' thinking at the moment. I don't really think that's changed in the last 2 or 3 games, but yeah, I think he stays.
P-Man says, do you think Alan Creswell is defensively good enough for the Premier League?
Don't think it matters with West Ham at the moment, because whenever he goes out of position, Rice covers him, be it free at the back, at left centre back, Rice goes in there. He started attacking with Ben Rama at left back yesterday. Rice moved to left back. Rice is a formidable player, so I think it's actually quite canny management to look at Cresswell's shortcomings and think, okay, well, I'm going to negate that, and then look at what he provides in terms of assists and whatnot, and say, actually, I'm going to let him do that. But if he's going to struggle to get back into position, then Rice is going to cover. So I almost don't think it matters. We were complaining about Cresswell not being a particularly effective left back probably quite a lot over the last couple of seasons. We're just not seeing that now. The system has been devised that negates his deficiencies, so I'm not really too bothered about it.
A couple of the seasons ago I said no, defensively he wasn't, but this season I think he has been defensively good enough when switched to forward back. He's a main factor of a switching the forward at the back and performing well. We know Soufal was a right back when we signed him. I think we are seeing better performances from him at right back than we did at right wing back. There's nothing wrong with him per se. He was just average at right wing back, but I think he's excellent at right back. And it almost allows us to sort of help Alan Creswell a little bit. When we had Fredericks and Creswell, we almost had 2 weakish fullbacks. It was like, well, take your pick what one you go at. We now know that Creswell might be a little bit defensively lesser than Soufal, so we can help him out. We can play Rice on the left of centre midfield rather than the right of centre midfield, just so we can keep an eye on Creswell and stuff. Plus, we've got Obona next to him, who's in the form of his life. You know, it helps having someone like that there. So no, I think defensively, I think he has been good enough this season. But defensively being good enough is almost like a form thing. That's where it all comes down to form. Yeah. Technically, is Lanzini good enough to be a number 10 in the Premier League? Well, he is, ability-wise, but in terms of form, no, he's not. He's not playing well enough. So it's difficult to gauge, but I will say, yes, he is. Ben Glander, it's a good West Ham channel. You haven't subscribed, go YouTube, Google him as well. Ben Glander says, if you could score the perfect goal, how would you score it? What would your perfect goal be?
Oh, Ben.
Will it be cheeky?
Always cheeky. Always cheeky.
I think as your celebration, you should put your lipstick on again.
Get me lipstick out. I think I'll do a shake of the hand. I'll be quite reserved with the celebration.
No, you would not.
I would.
Oh,
I would. Yeah.
Oh, leave it out. You do a video every week saying, I told you Moyes are a good manager. So you're telling me you remind us when you get something right. You remind us so often.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were to score this one to go, you would just not make a big.
I'm a humble man, G. I'm a humble striker. You know.
Yes. And Sullivan's 6'5".
I take me wages from the club. I do me. I pay me subs to the PFA.
And Eva,
I do me little press afterwards, and then I'm a humble man. Gary, when Gary interviews me on Match of the Day, I say no comment, Gary. You know, it's a team game. You know, without the midfield, I wouldn't score the number of goals that I score. That's the sort of stuff I'd say. At
least you would get a good ooh from Gary Neville. Do you know when Gary Neville does his Sky? He likes an ooh, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think I can't. I don't know whether I want to do a Ronaldinho or whether I want to do like a 30-yard screamer. So am I dribbling or am I shooting, or is it a free kick? I think something sweet about hitting the ball really cleanly and it going into the top corner, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 30 yards howitzer into the top right-hand corner of the goal rather than a Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, I think I would like that, like a Roberto Carlos style free kick. I think I'd like, but with a Dimitri Payet twist at Old Trafford, where it was like everyone knew where Payet was aiming for. You're so far out against the best keeper in the world possibly at the time. Everyone knew where it was going, but yet you still scored it. Like you might as well have said to David here, "I'm going to put it there, mate, right there. If you can get there, you will save it." But he still didn't get there. I think that's what I would like as well. I think that's what I would like. I would have a proper celebration. I'd be in the crowd and everything. I'd take a booking. I don't mind getting yellow carded. Don't mind it at all. Massive thank you, Nick. Nick's chopped $4.99 into the biscuit fund as well, or the full-time fund, if you like. Thank you, Nick. My Hammer's 11. Oh, Russ, we see what you're doing.
What's he up to?
We've just gave Ben a shout out, so now Russ is commenting.
Russ deserves a shout out. Poor old Russ.
No, wait.
Me on the phone to him yesterday. To be fair.
Wait, Russ comments under Russ a lot. He's now switched his account to My Hammer's 11.
Oh, come on, give him a plug.
What you're doing.
Give him a plug. He don't need a plug, but you should give him one. That boy has got 10k. He knows this. I spoke to him yesterday on the phone. He's got 10k subs. Basically, 2 weeks ago he had no subscribers. Now he's got 10,000. Amazing.
Anyway, his question was: if you were a darts player, what would your walk-on music be?
Oh, nice.
Oh wait, hang on a minute. We've got Dancing Avocado. We've got one of them again. Remember that Dancing Avocado with the maraca? Remember we've got one of them in the super chat. Like,
I don't like avocado.
A month ago we had a Dancing Avocado.
I don't remember. Did I tell you at that point I don't like avocado? I probably did.
No, but hang on. Josh Thorne's just put in €20 and says thanks for being you with a Dancing Avocado.
Well, thank you for the €20, but not the avocado, Josh. But thank you, my friend. I don't like avocado, Josh. Oh, go on. You
your darts dance. Your darts.
Yeah. Go on. You pick one.
I don't know. It's a difficult thing. I think I'd want to get something that gets the crowd going a little bit. You know.
I think I'll go with Barry White, Love's Theme. You don't know it, do you?
No. Are you going to sing it?
Well, it's actually mostly an instrumental. No, I'll probably go with a Bob Marley song. But it says them belly full, right? He starts up and he starts singing them belly full but they're hungry. But the way he says them belly full but we're hungry. But it sounds like Dembele at the start of it. So I'll probably go with that one, the Bob Marley Dembele song.
I don't know what I would do.
You farted? Did you fart then?
I think I would. No, it's my chair. I would do my. I think I'd do Run Rig Lock Lomond, but it's got to be the bit where the tempo gets built up. I don't want the slow version.
What? Actually, no. I would do the Irish Rover. I'd do the Irish Rover, and I would stand there while the whole lot played. Under 4th of July 1806, and I'd do a whole lot, all 50,000 verses, and I'd stand there. And by the time the tune had played and finished. My opponent would be exhausted and asleep, and I would go in. Who won? Oh, that's bullseye, isn't it? Yeah, well, whatever. I'll do something like
that. 1 second. I was just checking something. It's all right. We're fine. Yeah, I've upset the live chat. Everyone was predicting what Oasis song as a way to say, got you all there, didn't we? You're
Are they upset? How upset?
Yeah, well, they're more upset that I said it was an avocado and it's a pear because pears don't have leaves.
Oh, thank you, Josh. I do love a good pear, Josh. Thank you.
I love a good pear as well. Right, we'll take a couple more questions in the live chat and then we're going to disappear because we do have quite a lot of other questions to get through. Woody, Alan. He tweeted us earlier, Gonzo, saying his missus is fuming because he was sitting her down to watch this. Remember we did the mug of tea 2 weeks ago?
We did.
And everybody that was watching seemed to have their missus watching with them. It become a bit of a theme, didn't it? Everybody was commenting with what their missus was doing. And then someone told us that his missus was his hand. But anyway, Alan's watching with his missus, so hello Hello, Alan's missus. Says, you talked about the last 11 years under Gold, Sullivan and Beatty, but what do you think the club and the world, but say the club, will look like in 11 years' time?
Do you know what, Alan? No cop out, mate. No cop out here. It's just the world is such a crazy place. It's next to impossible to predict. You know, I was talking to Danny, our mate. Danny, just like my dreams. Geo, I was speaking to him on the phone. You know, and just he was saying, you know, don't even know. Speak to him on the phone earlier. Just, you know, like I don't even know when we're going to be able to meet up to you know, to say hello to each other and stuff like that. And that's, I don't even know whether that's next week, next month, next year when that'll happen. And what can you do? What can you do? I tell you, what football in the world and the club's going to be like in 11 years? Who knows? Sorry, Alan, I just don't know, mate.
Yeah. The problem is, regardless of the world, even, let's just say we're living in the normal world right now, we still couldn't tell you because of the board. We couldn't. There's no clear path. There's no clear strategy. There's no clear plan. And the worst thing is, I think you were to say to Sullivan and Gold, where do you think West Ham will be in 11 years? I don't think they know either. They'd probably be thinking, well, I won't be here, but hopefully my kids will be running the club. But they don't know either. As long as they're in the Premier League, they're all right. I think that's it. Irish Tommy, thoughts on Danny Ings refusing to sign a new contract as he wants Champions League football?
Over to you, my friend.
A man with ambition. I always knew he had it in him. A winner's mentality. Nah, it's a newspaper article, and I think I would be surprised if he left Southampton under sort of bad circumstances. He's a Saints fan. He loves the club. He's done really well there. And, well, I don't think Southampton will get Champions League football. They are a club going places at the minute. I'd be surprised if he was to walk out. And also, clubs that get Champions League football this season, unless it's City or Liverpool, there's no guarantee they're going to get Champions League football the following season. So Man United and Leicester could get the top four, but they're only in the Champions League last season. If anything, I hope he goes to Leicester. They need a striker. Jamie Vardy's getting on a bit. I think he would fit Brendan Rodgers perfectly. I think. Did Rodgers take him to Liverpool?
Don't know.
Roughly the same time, isn't it?
Right, that's a good shout. It's a good shout.
I think if I was to give Mr. Danny Ings advice, I'd say don't come to West Ham United. Don't worry about that Scotsman that wants you here a lot. Don't worry about him. Go to Leicester City. You'll do well.
I was trying to think who you were talking about then.
What? Moyes really wants him.
It was you. Cheeky.
Right. Last question maybe. Abdullah says your ideal realistic striker this season.
Abdullah, you know, the thing is, I don't know enough about these players, so I almost wait and have a look at them. But the two I have, so I'll tell you who I always used to like, and I thought we might have gone in and signed him, was a player at Red Bull, and he was called Josip Poulsen. And every time I've seen him, I thought, okay, now there's a player that could thrive in the Premier League, 6'5", fast as pants. Fast pants. The quickest pants. Josip Poulsen, the quickest pants you've ever seen. This guy is quicker than them, right? I liked him. The two that I've seen that have been linked with us, I like Adam Hlosek. I think looks really good, and I like the new fella. There's another Josip. Hey, you can't have too many Josips in your team. En-Nesyri. So, him or Hlosek I'd go for.
Alexander Isak will still be mine. But also, by the way, Poulsen doesn't play for Red Bull. They're not called Red Bull. Rasenball. They're called Rasenball.
Who?
Rasenball. Rasen ball. They're not called Red Bull. They're called RB Leipzig. But it's not. The RB doesn't stand for Red Bull. It stands for Rasenball.
It doesn't stand for Red Bull?
No.
So why has it got Red Bull all over the place then? I thought Red Bull owned
it. Red Bull are the sponsors, but they're not called Red Bull Leipzig. They're called Rasenball Leipzig.
I think Red Bull sounds better than
It does, but they're not allowed to call it. They're not allowed to call it Red Bull, so they called it something else. So then the abbreviation could be RB Leipzig.
I would have just gone with Red and Bullenstein, right, or something like that, just to try and get it under the radar. It's German. Red and Z balls.
I could be wrong, but I think Rasenball Sport or whatever, what their name is, I think it's called. I think it's something. I think the word lawn is in there, so I think it's called like lawn sport or something like that.
Razzle dazzle ball.
Anyway, yeah, there you go. You've learned something nice. It's not called Red Bull Leipzig. Last question.
You've taught me something. I'll tell you what, I've forgotten it by tomorrow.
I'm going to do a video tomorrow saying I was right. It's not called Red Bull Leipzig.
Oh, that'll do some views. That sounds a brilliant video, Geo.
Josh though, and I'll answer this one. Says, when is Hammers chat? Because he put in the €30 or €20. I feel like we've got to answer it. Says, when is Hammers chat?
An avocado.
It was a pear, an avocado with a leaf on, apparently. And when is Hammers chat going to become the official voice of West Ham? Never. We're just two random West Ham fans chatting a load of bollocks, arguing about what RB stands for. In the German.
Can you imagine if we were, just imagine getting the job, right? Imagine if we had that job. You know when they sit pitch side and they talk about the game? Imagine if the game was 10 minutes before kickoff and we started talking about biscuits and what fruit was acceptable and stuff like that. Can you imagine? And we're there and the game's kicked off and we're arguing the difference between malted milk, Nice biscuits and a hobnob. That's what you get. That's the quality. That's the quality of broadcast you're getting here.
Yeah, I think so. They'll be like, who recruited these two and why are they talking about custard creams? And why do they keep encouraging super chats? What's this? Sullivan's getting excited.
And there's an avocado on the pitch.
But it's not an avocado, there's a leaf on it. Anyway, we'll leave it there. We're off to record another video.
Tomorrow morning. That'll be your morning video, mate. There you go.
If you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed this random cup of tea, this mishmash of West Ham topics, drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll try and do another cup of tea next week or the following one. Lots of questions. Gonzo's wiggling his finger like he's got something to say.
No, I was pointing to subscribe, but I realised that the subscribe button's probably not up there. It's probably down there.
It's down there.
Somewhere. You got to hit the bell as well, by the way.
Yeah, it's on the end. The bell is on the end. Give the bell end a whack.
I tell you what advice for life that is.
Whack the bell end.
Absolutely, give the bell a whack, you lovely people. But yeah, just make sure the kids are in bed.
Catch you in a bit.